one of the biggest dirtbags in America, Gavin Newsom. Never mind the biggest dirtbag in politics, just one of the biggest dirtbags in all of America. Gavin Newsom decides that he's going to start his own podcast so he could spin the narrative. You know, all of a sudden he's this centrist, normal Democrat. I mean, Gavin, do you think we haven't been paying attention to what you have done to California? You've absolutely destroyed the place. Crime is through the roof. A one-bedroom apartment's $4,000 a month. You lead the nation in the amount of illegals that are there. You hand them everything for free healthcare, free rent, you name it, you give it to them, all while American citizens suffer and are victims of crime in California. And let's not forget the defecating in the street. We'll save the best part for last. So let's jump into the video.
We're losing. We have I feel it's asymmetry of Donald Trump and Elon Musk sending out tweets, or you doing social media, and then me doing a 3-minute hit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on CNN. I mean, how the hell do we compete? We're toast.
Well, I mean, I'm part of it, and credit to you for doing long-form podcasting, because long-form podcasting does penetrate different audiences, right? And our show does very well. But part of the problem of...
Okay, I got to stop it real quick. Do you hear what Gavin just said? How do we compete? I don't know, Gavin. Maybe put American citizens first. Lower taxes. Stop giving illegals and criminals everything for free. Maybe locking up criminals in California. Stop getting rid of your water reserve because it hurts the environment, and then forest fires start and all California burns. I mean, that's how you compete, Gavin. You don't compete by making lies and just making things up. I mean, I know you're a scum, you know what, so none of what I'm saying makes sense to you.
The Democrat Party, that for the health of the country would be great to change, is that Democrats cannot survive in long-form podcasting environments.
Why?
It's too unscripted.
Why?
It's too masculine, honestly. And the Democrat Party's become too feminine.
What is masculine about a podcast? Honestly, because I get the whole manosphere, this bro podcast.
To go into the wilderness with no rules and duel it out and see who's better or who's stronger. No, seriously. I mean, like, what?
Democrats
what? No, I mean, like,
we don't do it. No, you're right. We, for whatever reason, don't do it.
You can laugh, but like, who in the Democrat Party?
We're not. You're right.
Now, breaking away from his earlier stance on transgender rights, Newsom said this about trans athletes in women's sports.
Would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It is an issue of fairness. So it's deeply unfair.
Would you speak out against this young man, A.B. Hernandez, who right now is going to win the state championship in the long jump? I can see you wrestling with it.
No, I'm not wrestling. I'm not wrestling with the fairness issue. I totally agree with you. By the way, as someone with 4 kids, I think
and 2 daughters, right?
Look at him. He can't even answer the question. So if you don't agree with men playing in women's sports, are you going to speak out about this kid, this guy, man that's playing a women's sport that's about to win the state championship? Oh, well, you know, you're a piece of garbage, Gavin. I could debate you any day of the week with my eyes closed in a barn somewhere. And you laugh when Charlie Kirk said to you, well, Democrats can't do long form podcasts because they can't tell the truth. They can't debate. They have to stick to a monitor. Nobody's allowed to ask them a question. And if you do ask them a question, they'll have the police escort you out of the room.
2 daughters.
And I have a daughter too.
And a wife that went, God forbid, to Stanford and played on the junior national soccer team, and a guy who got into college only because I was left-handed and could throw a baseball a little bit or hit the ball for a little bit.
Yeah, sure, Gavin.
But I revere sports. And so the issue of fairness is completely legit.
They also discussed the use.
So the dirtbag reveres sports, but there shouldn't be one man in women's sports. Not one. Sorry you can't tell John, who put 2 barrettes in his hair and his balls are hanging out of his basketball shorts, hey, you got to play with the boys. Oh, we don't want to hurt his feelings. So we're going to let him, break females' legs, win events by, 10 minutes. It's ridiculous. And only Democrats could sit there with a straight face and wrestle with it. Oh, well, I don't know. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to lose votes. So I can't speak out against it. You all make me sick. All of you.
Of gender pronouns and the term Latinx. Let's watch that.
The Latinx stuff, that, by the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree?
where did that even
No more Latinx, everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about? Was it the pronouns? By the way, once you'd think California invented the frame of pronoun. Not, I mean, literally, I had one meeting where people started going around the table of pronouns. One. There's been a hell of a lot of days between 2020 and today, and one meeting. So it's not like this is, I'm like, what the hell why is this the biggest issue?
Charlie Kirk also took a jab at Dems for canceling schools for 2 years. Let's watch.
Dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he didn't. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is
you canceled school for like 2 years. Exactly.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you.
So much to get to, Stephen. I cannot.
Oh, yeah. Gavin, this big centrist now. He's such a good guy. He's a walking scum, you know what, and just a walking vagina. How is he even married? Like, what type of woman would marry this scum? He's just garbage. He's a total garbage human being. And I was really surprised to hear that Trump's son was going out with his ex-wife. Like, how is your father Donald Trump and you're going out Gavin Newsom's ex-wife? Like, there's some really big disconnect there. I know they broke up, but it just never made sense to me. Like, how do you bring her to your father's table? Really? Well, obviously, she connects with him on some level. I mean, Gavin Newsom is the biggest dirtbag on the planet. And that was a great hit by Charlie Kirk. Well, you closed California school system for 2 years where students were literally ending their, because they were so depressed, and Gavin Newsom doesn't want his son to miss one day of school to come see him with Charlie Kirk, which was probably a lie anyway. Gavin's reaching out to the other side of the aisle. He's this good guy that just wants to sit down and have a beer with Republicans and go over the policies together. Give me an effing break. You make me sick. I'd have more respect for you if you just said, you know what? I'm a communist. I'm a socialist. I hate this country for whatever the reason. These are my reasons why I hate the country. Because if you look at what Gavin Newsom and Democrats do, every single policy that they have hurts American citizens and America. They care more about illegals, criminals, transgenders, people with mental disorders. That's who they care about. The regular guy that gets up and goes to work every day, that's a truck driver, that's a totally normal American citizen, they hate you. And guess what? We all know that, and that's why we vote for Donald Trump. F you, Gavin.
Let the moment pass without saying that there is nothing inherently masculine or feminine about long-form podcasts. I think we can do without that sort of absurdity from Charlie Kirk. I think, going into the wilderness.
Who is this guy? Shut up. It's ultra feminine that you can't sit at a table with somebody who has different views than you and argue it out. As long as you let the other person talk, I have no problem with it. But when you sit down with a Democrat, you could sit there for 20 minutes and let them say whatever they want. The minute you say what you're going to say, he needs to be fired from his job. He should be banned. Oh, he's a MAGA extremist. He's a right-wing extremist. He's a white supremacist. You liberals make me sick. That's one of the reasons why I make these videos. You know why? I can't stand you never mind can I stand what you've done to the country. Never mind can I stand how anti-American you are, how just everything. You can't say I'll say Merry Christmas whenever I want. You don't like it, go F yourself. I'll wave the American flag when I want. Again, you don't like it, F you. This is a Democrat. We have to say happy holidays because we don't want to offend people. We can't wave the American flag. We can't say that English is a national language here. F you. It's that simple. I don't give a F. If you think other places are so great, all these Democrats and liberals, Ukraine, we need to send American soldiers, You know why? Because their kids will never be in the military and go fight that war. So they'll send, the working class kids over there to fight that war. They can get their head blown off while their kids, at Princeton being a radical, screaming F America, F Trump, pro-Palestine, Hamas garbage. Here's something for all you coward Democrats, all you supposed There's not a real man on the planet that's an actual Democrat. It's impossible. You can't be a real man and be a Democrat. You just can't. It's impossible. But here is some advice to you. If you're so tough, if you're so concerned about Ukraine, sign up for the Ukrainian army and go fight. Go ahead, sign up for the military. Go fight for their border. See, American troops will be sent all over the world. I couldn't even imagine being in the military, because how are you sent all over the world? They keep saying military enrollment's down. Military enrollment's down. How could anybody join the military right now? You get sent all over the world to defend every border, but there's an invasion in the country that you signed up to defend. I don't do well with this type of stuff. Like, mentally, I can't. I'll just remove myself from the situation. If you're this type of person with this type of logic, I have no problem debating you, but on a personal level, I don't want to interact with you whatsoever. There's nothing for us to talk about. Zero. I don't want to be around communists. I just don't. It's that simple.
Charlie is venturing boldly where no person has gone before by talking in a nice warm studio for a long period of time.
I could argue that we had a discussion last week when I was on the show about J.D. Vance and masculinity, what that means, and
it's a good discussion.
I can pick up on like generally what he's saying. You actually have to fight for your viewpoint. You have to be assertive rather than accommodating.
Sure.
And I think the accommodating nature of so many Democratic politicians, where they are thinking 1,000 miles an hour about every possible group they can offend with any one of their viewpoints, makes it really, really hard to have any discourse. I mean, when I'm doing this show and I'm thinking through what I want to say, I'm thinking about a couple people and groups that I maybe don't want to offend unnecessarily.
Oh my God, here we go.
Not at the
Wait, so he just said Democrats worry about, when we speak, we have to worry about who we're going to offend. Well, if you didn't say anything racially derogatory and no slurs of any type, why would you be worried about it? Why would I worry about, I'm going to hurt Democrats' feelings because I cannot stand the way they act? See, Democrats now, too, they have this thing where, if we don't like what you say, we'll attack you. If you're in public and you have a Trump hat on, we'll attack you. Let me explain something to you, all you purple hair freaks and weirdos and all you other garbage human beings. Do yourself a favor. It's not a good idea to walk around and just put your hands on anybody, because I assure you, sooner or later, you're going to do that to the wrong person, and what your daddy didn't give you, you're about to get. Learn to keep your hands to yourself.
Extent of, I think, your average Democratic politician who cannot alienate
Look at his face.
anyone.
I don't know.
You have to be willing to do that.
You do have to be willing to let it roll and let it fly, for sure. So let's let it fly about Gavin Newsom, who you and I were talking before we began this segment. Like, he's obviously running, right? That's why he's doing podcasts with Charlie Kirk in the first place, and why he is.
They teach your kids, and you have all these communist teachers, right? That they teach your kids, even college professors, teaching your kids that your forefathers were the original terrorists, all this communist garbage. Worry about this one, worry about that one, all while they take a dump in your kid's face. Don't say Merry Christmas. Don't wear a Trump shirt. Don't wear a Trump hat. F all of you. I'll say Merry Christmas. I'll wear a Trump hat wherever I want. You put your hands on me, I assure you it's not going to go well. I'll leave it at that. You wonder why 80 million Americans voted for Donald Trump? Every word of what I just said is 100% the truth. And guess what? If you don't like it, F you. I'm entitled to my opinion. If you don't like what I'm saying, then don't watch my videos.